It is Monday, August 16th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is presented by Jet Home Loans. And now, a guy whose contract says he only gets 2 series till September, J.P. Shadrick.
Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday. We are Pete Prisco free today. It's a ratings bonanza on this Monday afternoon. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, and a busy show ahead. Preseason Week 1 review. The Jaguars lost to the Cleveland Browns Saturday night at TIAA Bank Field. We'll hear from senior writer John Oehser in studio in about 15 minutes to recap practice number 14 of training camp today. Some pants issues, it sounded like. NFL Films and ESPN producer and analyst Greg Cosell will join us at 5 o'clock and talk quarterback play, Trevor Lawrence, and a few other rookie debuts in preseason Week 1 around the NFL. Social media questions are rolling in today without Pete here, and we'll go around the National Football League. Tony, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Who are you texting right now? What is going on? We're doing a radio show, Tony. What is going on?
I'm texting our good friend Jeff Logman.
Okay, well that's
that not
real,
okay?
No, it's really not.
Sorry, I'll put it down.
Welcome to radio. Here we are.
Well, listen, with no Pete, I can do whatever I want.
I guess so.
Yeah, no.
Pete's in Minnesota, by the way, covering the Vikings today.
Oh, Vikings! What a poor excuse for a first preseason game they had.
CBS sent an entire television set table like we have here in studio, and like an anchor and another guy and him, and they're doing live from camp. They didn't do that here. I mean, what are we doing, Pete?
Does anyone really want to see Pete on TV?
No.
I mean,
I agree with you.
Really?
That's what's happening, though.
Yeah.
How you feeling after Saturday night about the Jaguars squad in 2021, Tony?
You know, not much different than I did before. I mean, it's the first preseason game. Typical overreaction.
Oh,
it would have happened the other way too if they come out and lit it up. Here we go, book tickets in L.A. We're going to the Super Bowl. And now they had a bad game, and it's like, oh, they're not going to win a football game this year. It's like, come on, it's somewhere in between.
The panic button here is that everybody has their hand on it at this time every single year. Anyway, we're just ready to click it.
I mean, part of that's because this team has struggled for a long time outside of 2017. So you have a hard time of being optimistic, and you want to see results, but it's the first preseason game. You can't overreact. Was it good? No. It wasn't good overall.
There were some positive things,
there was definitely positive things, though.
Yeah.
But was it where you wanted to be? I guarantee Urban was frustrated, probably. I mean,
sounded like it a little bit, even today.
You have your first offense, first defense. You're playing against backups, and you're not being productive. Forget about the wins or losses of the overall game.
Right.
I'm just looking at that first quarter and a half. You had your starters out there. You're not productive.
Trevor Lawrence on his backside, play one.
Yeah, I mean, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
Defensively, first drive, they go up and go right down the field, kick a field goal. Mm-hmm. Frustrating. Is it panic time? No. But you know the first thing that came to mind after that game when I woke up Sunday morning? You ever see Smokey and the Bandit, the original?
Yeah.
We have a long way to go and a short time to get there.
That's right. Clock's ticking.
The snowman.
You got
Wasn't that the snowman? Wasn't that the
pretty good.
The guy driving the big rig to go pick up the illegal Coors Light? It
was Jerry Reed.
That's
right.
Up in Texarkana.
Absolutely it was.
With the Bandit, Burt Reynolds,
Sally
Fields.
Yeah.
Great. First of all, maybe one of the great all-time movies. I mean, it's a great movie.
Jackie Gleason.
The
sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
It's good stuff. Hey, let's get to today.
I don't know, yeah, but
you digress.
My whole point was long way to go, but a short time to get there. Because this team has a long way to go. We all knew that. They won one game last year, JP.
They're on a 15-game losing skid right now.
Yeah, you don't fix it overnight.
Yeah.
And are they going to be better against Houston than we saw yesterday? Absolutely. What you wanted, because you said so that's like overall. Were there positives? Yes.
Plenty.
Okay. Trevor Lawrence.
Positive.
You want to see Can it translate? He's done on the practice field. He did in college. First preseason game. Positive. Yes, he can do it. He can make throws. Did he hold it a few times too long? Sure.
He admitted that. Yeah, he knew it.
Did he maybe not trust it right away? Sure. Did he make some big-time throws? Did he stand in the pocket? Was he unaffected after getting drilled the first play of the game? Yes. Positives. All good things. Does he have a rocket of a right arm? Yes. Do I would like to see, no one else wants to see it, and it's probably not a good thing. It'd be fun to, on the zone read on 4th and 1. I think he could have kept it. But maybe the staff told him not to.
Yeah, don't be running with the football.
I think that'd be fun to see. But so that's a positive. James Robinson looked good. 2 or 3 carries. Right. Positive.
Yeah. The run defense.
Dominant. Devon Hamilton. Positive.
Really good.
Physical. Good player.
Some positives in the secondary,
I thought
too.
Chase On had 2 good pass rushers against the backup tackle. I don't care.
Now the glass is half full.
Good positive stuff.
Come on. That's
some
what we're
good
talking about.
contested balls out there. C.J. Henderson.
Yes.
Good to see him on the field. I know everyone's been down on C.J. because of off-the-field issues, whatever they are. But here's the thing. We're better with C.J. when he's healthy. He's on the field. He's a good player.
He might be your overall most talented corner, I think.
Good player. Rayshawn Jenkins, positive, flying around, energy, hit guys. Logan Cook, booming the football.
The
weapon. All positive. So there's positives out there.
Let's hear from Urban Meyer. He spoke before practice today. Yeah. It is against his nature to hold things back in a football game. He wants starters out there a little longer. And this idea of having to hold back things in the preseason in terms of scheme, it's all new to Urban.
So much I hear, we can't show this, can't show this, can't show this, can't. I don't want to get into it, but I want to go some tempo, and I'm used to some certain things. You'll see more of it as we get moving forward. I don't want what you saw is not what we're going to be, and I get it. We're right out of the chute, and I think sometimes coaches, we can't show this, we can't show that. I'm like, why? Explain to me why. So.
Paranoia.
Which I'm the worst at it, but not that.
It's Urban Meyer. Paranoia was the second question there, Tony. Why, Tony? Why?
First of all, me and Herb, I'm aligned with you, head coach. Me and you feel the same way about this. It's ridiculous. Coaches are paranoid for no reason. He's exactly why. I mean, right. I had that conversation with another NFL coach. He was saying, you can't do that. And I asked, same thing. Why? We don't want to show anything. Really? You don't want to show anything? I can tell you what you're going to do as a coach because I know what your history's been. Like, what are you hiding? There's no secrets. It's football. And maybe there's nuances here or there, but guess what? After week 1, everyone's going to know.
I'll say this.
I mean, so I'm with you. I'm with Urban there. I mean, I agree 1,000% with Urban.
The example that I hit on earlier today on Jaguars.com in an article was Travis Etienne. He played 13 snaps, ran the ball once, and was targeted another time. That was it. And we've always heard this offseason that Etienne's going to be a weapon. He's lining up here. He's doing this. He's in motion. He's the guy, an offensive weapon. They didn't show any of that. Because I guess they don't want the other teams to see what they might do with him, right?
Okay, yeah.
That's the other argument.
You've told them that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
There's only so many places on the field he can line up.
They're going to run out in the wishbone and surprise everybody.
At that said position. Let's say he's at the slot. There's only a handful of things he's going to do from the slot. I mean, so I'm not saying show everything. But you know what? At some point, this young team, they better practice what they want to do on Sunday.
Go rep it, right? And that's Urban's point, too, is that, I'd love to see the quarterback more, he said. We need reps for him. He's a young quarterback. Good play.
I agree with Urban. I think we've gone too far.
You know who can veto all that, though, is Urban. And say, play the kid.
He can. We'll see.
I mean, he's been leaning on his coordinators and the NFL experienced coaches to, give him some advice on these matters.
Well, I'm of the more old school thought, like a Belichick, Andy Reid, Bruce Arians. I mean, you saw Hall of Fame quarterbacks or potentially Hall of Fame quarterbacks at the very minimum playing in the first preseason game. Tom Brady, you think he needs reps, JP? You know what? You want to know why he's great? Because he thinks he does.
Because he thinks he
does.
Yeah.
He wants to get better. Patrick Mahomes.
He's playing.
Andy Reid said, I want him reps so he's behind this new offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go down. Bill Belichick, we know what he's going to do. Those guys are playing. Mike Tomlin, hey, guys need reps. The game of football is a game of repetition. You go and forget football. Let me ask you a question, JP.
Okay.
And Joe, chime in here. Joe's producing since we have no Pete Prisco.
Yes.
Can someone tell me one thing that you get better at in life without practicing?
I can't off the top of my head, no.
I can't either. Because in my experience,
Joe's
in my
a no. Joe's
history,
a no.
Joe's a no. My history, like if you want to get better at something, let me tell you one formula that doesn't work. Don't practice it. Hey, I want to get better at offensive line, but I'm not going to practice it. I want to get better at blocking. I need better technique and my pass sets for the wide rusher, but I'm not going to practice it. I'm going to go work on this.
It'll show up on Sunday.
I'm going to mental rep it. Mental rep. No. You know what? I'm a quarterback. I've never played in the NFL before. I want to be the best ever, but I don't need a preseason. I don't need practice. I'll just do it when it counts. Yeah, when it counts is too late. Guess what? You have to prepare so that when it does count, you can do it. And so this whole thing of resting guys and not playing guys and not showing stuff and not working on your base fundamental things, I don't buy it. You know what? If you don't want to show your trick creation and this thing,
you're not going to do the double reverse pass.
Or if you have a
things,
package for ETN that's going to be really dynamic and you want to catch Houston by surprise, don't show that. But you know what would be good? How many routes has ETN run in the NFL as a receiver?
However many he did the other night. That'd
be a net zero.
Yeah.
How many times has he caught the ball in the NFL?
Zero.
Net zero. How about we give him some reps? How about we give him a couple things? So I'm with Urban there. I get coaches are the most paranoid group of people I've met. I mean, they are afraid that that there's secret sauce out there. Like somehow they are the inventor of the game of football.
Like everybody's route tree is kind of the same,
I mean,
right?
You run a post,
right.
You run a corner, you run a dig, you run a basic route, you run a slant, you run the hitch, you run a stop, you run a sit, you run a comeback, you run a hook. Okay. There's combinations of such that you can work off each other. Pretty similar. You can run, guess what, JP? You can run cover 3. Or you can run cover 2 or cover 4. You can run cover 6. You can play straight man. You can go all blitzes. You can do. I mean, I'm not saying show everything, but you got to get work, especially when you're a young team. I would argue the benefit of getting reps outweighs any secret paranoia that you have as a coach that David Cawley and the Texans are going to get. Oh, did you see what he did? Now I figured out everything.
Eureka. We found it.
I'll end with this. I know we got to go to break.
Yeah, we're going to do one. Yeah, you go ahead.
My favorite, I remember when, this is a long time ago in college, John Robinson, College Hall of Fame football coach.
That's your guy.
Won a national title, took the Rams, went to the NFL, several playoff runs, I think one NFC title game. Good football coach. He used to tell us, he goes, guess what? I don't care. We're going to get so good at what we do. I don't care if they know. We're going to because we're going to be the best. We're going to get reps and reps. And his point was not we show everything, but we're going to rep it out. And I even think back to Pete Carroll when he was at SC, and John Robinson had the same philosophy. You know, every practice was wide open at USC. Did not care who came.
You could just go watch.
Come watch, because we're going to do our stuff.
Wow,
this is who we are.
Student body left. You know what's going to happen.
You know what? We're gonna give it to Reggie. And we're gonna block him, and he's gonna run. I mean, now.
If you can stop it, good for you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying going to that extent. I'm not saying every practice should be open for the NFL and they should just let anyone come see. But there's somewhere in between that mentality and being scared to death and not working on stuff. There has to be some middle ground, and I think that. I think this next preseason game against the Saints, and I know we'll talk a little bit about that. I guess we're not having a Monday night show next week, are we?
No, because it's Monday Night Football.
And so we'll hit on that a little bit because I think that second preseason game is really important for this team, and I think they need significant reps. I think the starters need to play. I said it before.
Into the third quarter.
Into the third quarter.
Wow.
I think they need reps.
Wow. I like it. Let's take our first time out on the program. We've got plenty ahead. We'll hear from Joe Cullen. He spoke earlier today, defensive coordinator. We'll hear from the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, after the game. Josh Allen coming up in just a moment. It's John Oehser, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Then at 5 o'clock, Greg Cosell joining us to talk quarterback play. Season tickets, single game tickets, and group tickets. Be a part of the new era of Jaguars football and own it. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We're off and running. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is presented in part by TIAA Bank. Created to serve, built to perform. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
At ViStar, we believe in better. And that means treating people better with friendly, personal service that's kept our members happy since 1952. A smile and personal greeting when you enter the branch, an online or phone chat for those quick questions, and a call center that's open every day. If you believe that great service is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
Healthcare coverage for less? Yes. Now, because of the new healthcare stimulus, you can get better benefits, more coverage, and pay less with a Florida Blue plan. Claim your savings today. Visit floridablue.com/getcovered now. Policies have limitations and exclusions. If you already had health insurance in 2021, speak with an agent to find out how changing plans could impact your deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums. Florida Blue and Health Options Incorporated, DBA Florida Blue HMO, are independent licensees of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association. You know what you expect at an airport hotel. A bed, a shuttle that's never on time, and if you're lucky, a day-old Danish on your way out the door. But at the Crowne Plaza Jacksonville Airport, you get a renovated lobby, restaurant, and bar, and 10,000 square feet of luxurious space for memorable family and business events. So stop by, stay a while, and expect to be surprised. Crowne Plaza Jacksonville Airport. Book online or call 1-877-2-CROWN. That's 1-877-227-6963.
So, it's happy hour. Let's talk whiskey options. Have you tried Citrus Distillers? Have you tried Citrus Distillers Limited Edition 2021 Barrel-Aged Jaguar Whiskey? Did you know it's only available for a limited time and manufactured in Jacksonville? Yes, Jacksonville. I said local whiskey. Try it on the rocks or in a Jack's Whiskey Sour. Citrus Distillers Jaguars Whiskey is available at local liquor stores, restaurants, and the Jaguar Stadium. Drink local, Jacksonville. Find recipes and events at jaguarswhiskey.com.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Football, it's the National Football League. The more you play in this league, the more stuff you're going to see. You know what I mean? As y'all probably know in your profession. So you just can't take anything for granted. Luckily, Joe went to a team that needed him most. That's a blessing. But for a lot of other people, it doesn't happen like that. So, hope Joe and his family transitions well. And I wish him nothing but the best. And any other guy who's about to go through these first cuts, I feel like, I feel like everybody on this team, the training camp bust their butt to be on this team. But, we can't have everybody on this team. So, but I think, they keep working. Somebody's going to pick them up.
That's Josh Allen after the game Saturday night, and welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli. We are Pete Prisco free. It is a ratings bonanza tonight on Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Jet Home Loans. Plenty coming up. Greg Cosell at 5 o'clock. We've got some offensive line talk we got to get to, Tony. That'll be in the second hour. John Oehser joins us now, Jaguars.com senior writer.
Well, I once replaced Pete on the Jaguars beat at the TU. So
and it was better back then, and we're better now.
We're better after that. It is great to be here with my friend J.P. Shadrick and with Tony Boselli.
Well, Tony's here, too. That's great. Glad you're along for the ride, Tony. That's real nice.
It's my show, JP. Let's get this clear.
You know, we just heard from Urban Meyer earlier today, and we ran the bite a second ago about him trying to wrap his mind around hiding things in the preseason. And Tony, you're all about showing a little bit more. I think Urban's in the same boat.
Yeah, I'm not like you have to show every like wrinkle that you have, but you have to do enough, especially when you're a young team, to get you ready for the regular season. Like we're not talking about the Buccaneers with Tom Brady that, by the way, spend countless hours in the offseason under his leadership of getting the timing and everything else, and got a guy who's seen everything 50,000 times, and a fairly veteran offensive line group, and veteran receivers and talent. You're not talking about that group. You're talking about a group who is figuring out as they go with a rookie quarterback who's very talented, but a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And with a dynamic playmaker in ETN that you're talking about using in all these certain different ways, you don't just show up on September, whatever the date is,
12th
in Houston, and just say, "Oh, let's turn it on now. Now we got it." And I just don't buy that. I think you have to work on things.
John, thanks for coming to the show. But
You're welcome.
That was a question, John.
I also think that Urban kind of has the attitude of, if guys can play and they're better than the opponent, that they're going to perform. They're going to show they're better than the opponent, even if maybe the opponent has seen one or two things they do on film.
Agreed.
Film gets around in the NFL. By week 2, you know
everything.
Right. So I agree with him. I don't think you show your trick plays. Maybe you don't go to your 8th option in the playbook, but to run the offense, yes. And I also think Urban's talking about going up tempo.
You better work on that.
You better work on that, and you can do that and work on that without going deep into your playbook. Just speed things up. When he's talking about that, he's talking more about getting to the line quickly, snapping the ball, go. He's not talking about giving away schemes or looks or specific plays.
Well, because here's the thing. Here's the flip side of the anti-paranoid coach, because they're all paranoid, some more than others. You know what? Actually, the more you do in preseason, you know what you force the Texans to do?
Prepare for everything.
Prepare for everything.
Right.
Give them more.
So how about you start running hurry up? Now all of a sudden part of the practice is doing hurry up.
But you can be up tempo and be vanilla.
No doubt about
it.
You know, if you put ETN in 50 different positions, now they're worried about, okay, we have to track this guy all over the place. If you show, and I'm not as for this because you don't want Trevor taking hits, but you show zone read stuff where the quarterback's keeping it and running a few times. Okay.
Let's show the zone read stuff where he doesn't keep it.
Well, we did that
the other night.
We did that on 4th down and got stuffed.
4th and 1.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean,
sure.
So I can play this both ways. And I have this conversation with coaches, not just here, other places, going, God, come on. Everyone knows what you're going to do. There's a book on every coach.
Especially when you have NFL coordinators.
Daryl Bevell.
Right.
You want to know go watch Detroit last year. Go watch the 5 years he was at Seattle. You want to know what Schottenheimer's going to do? Go watch the last couple years at Seattle. Go look at the Jets. I mean, these guys have a book on them of what they're going to do. You want to know what Joe Colin's going to do? Go watch the Ravens. He's talked about it, by the way, all offseason.
He has, yes. He's
So
been
go
very
turn on their tape.
transparent.
And that's what they're going to be.
John, what did you make of the Joe Schobert trade to Pittsburgh?
Felt like a guy who was not going to have nearly the role here he did last year. Felt like Damian Wilson was going to start in base, and that Miles Jack was their best nickel backer. I know Urban kind of went away from this when he was asked on Saturday, but it just felt like it wasn't a scheme fit. And when the rest of the league knows you're trying to get rid of a guy, it's hard to get a lot of value.
Okay, so, John, let me ask you a question because I have the philosophy that if you're going to get rid of a player, whether trade them or cut them, that you have somebody on their rosters who you can replace them with that's better, that you get better, especially in a trade. Or you get some future compensation that makes you better.
Yeah, they believe that the combination of Wilson and Quarterman will do that. That's their thinking.
So, your thoughts, if you were looking at the linebacking core, and for my opinion, I would have said Schobert was your third best linebacker, especially in nickel.
But if he doesn't fit what you do.
Okay, but nickel, he does fit.
Right.
But are you paying him all that money for one down?
Well,
by the way, third down?
It's not one down. It's 65% of your defense.
Okay.
Is nickel. On top of that, you're paying his guaranteed money still. And by the way, you got a 6-rounder. That's it. And so long term, I get that he is not the thumper that you need at Mike linebacker in this scheme. But the majority of football today is played in third down, in sub-personnel. And my question is, if Joe Schobert is your third best linebacker and maybe your second best nickel linebacker, and maybe he's not, maybe they don't view him that, did you get better, and are you better off replacing him with whoever, who's going to play, who's your number one nickel? Is it Damian Wilson?
Or how about this? They could play a little dime and bring a safety down closer to play that kind of thing.
You're missing my point.
I'm just saying. Maybe that's in mind.
I get the only thing I view you saved here is you cleaned up your cap a year earlier because you're going to take your major cap hit this year and spread it out, but you're still paying his guaranteed money. It's not like you have cap pressure this year anyways.
Right. Well, my understanding was that they didn't believe that he even fit their coverage scheme the way that they wanted it to. So I tend to agree with you. You're giving away a guy who has proven in the NFL, and you're paying him guaranteed money. I didn't quite get it, but I think that's their approach.
Yeah, and I'm all for it if you're trying to free up. And here's what I don't know: maybe they love one of these younger guys that Joe Schobert, while better today, was going to take reps from them and open the door up to one of these younger guys. That's what I don't know.
I know they like Quarterman, but I don't know that he's better than Schobert in nickel situations.
Yeah, I'm talking just nickel. First, listen, Joe Schobert does not fit this system in first and second down. He's not a thumper. You need a thumper if you're going to play 3-4 at middle linebacker. He's not physical enough. I agree with Trent or Urban or Joe Cullen, whoever made the decision. I'm 100% on board there. From a coverage standpoint, I get that you want to move on, and paying him that much money probably didn't make sense. But it's a sunk cost. And you're going to pay a portion of his guaranteed money anyways.
Right.
And so,
unless he wasn't going to play as much in nickel as we thought,
and
which
if he's not playing,
that's the case.
Okay.
So
then I guess
the trade tells me that's the case. I don't know if that's the case.
No. Yeah. And so that's the one thing I just don't know. Maybe there's just guys on this roster that are younger that they want reps for. And if that's the case, and if you're Trent and Urban, while it might not make sense in the immediate, you have a long-term view, I can buy that. I can buy it.
John, we were on the practice field today, standing next to each other when Trevor Lawrence was in red zone 7-on-7 work, carving up defenses again. And we've seen that a lot on the practice field. What did you make of his performance the other night? Saturday night, it was 15 plays.
Right.
Those big third down throws stand out. Pretty good start to things. There's still a lot of work to do for him, though.
Well, the ability the other night to recover and come from being behind and down in distance early and still getting a first down, I thought was impressive and encouraging. And you guys have seen it. Every practice, with a couple of exceptions, there has been a play or a stretch of plays where you walked away sort of nodding and going, okay, that's what it is. Today it was in the red zone. Right before that red zone drill, he had a really nice pass to Pharaoh Cooper in 7-on-7, I believe, and then 3 or 4 consecutive plays in the red zone where he's got the zip on the ball and he's got the touch and he throws it in the right way to get it there, meaning he doesn't necessarily have to put a lot of air on it to get into the corner of the end zone. He can throw it with zip. He can throw it. He's got a natural feel for how to throw the ball down there, and he's got the arm talent to do it. And Tony, you've seen it a little bit. I was around Peyton.
Wait, you work for the Colts?
I did work for the Colts.
How about that?
And you saw Peyton. Unbelievable mental approach to the game, and he had the physical ability to do it. But he didn't have the physical ability, the arm, the natural arm of this guy. Time will tell if Trevor has that mental capacity for the game. But I've never apologies to our boy Mark Brunell. I've never been around a quarterback that has this sort of physical tools.
No, it's special, and he doesn't have to get to Manning's mental capacity because I don't think anyone else is in the history of the game.
Right.
I mean, what makes Manning?
But in that range, Rodgers, Brady, Manning.
But even what makes Manning one of the greatest ever? Number one, I think he took it to a whole level first.
Right.
Of how he did it, and he was unbelievable. And Brady and Rodgers, you meant Breeze is another one.
Sure.
But I mean, just the knowledge of the game and the approach and what Manning did is a high bar. But you're right about Trevor Lawrence has a skill set that Manning never had.
Right.
And that's the athletic ability, number one. Just feet, run. No one's going to worry about Peyton Manning running away from you. And two,
but there are throws he makes that are just different.
He has a arm that will remind you of the Elways, the Rodgers, the Favres. We think he has the accuracy too. We got to see that over probably a larger.
I'll ask you because you were a big Elway fan. Arm the same as Elway's?
Yeah,
because Elway's arm was otherworldly.
Yeah,
cannon.
That's hard because I was a kid when I watched it. So like
he was your guy.
I remember when you're a kid and you see him, you're like, "There's no one ever good."
Right. Yeah.
But Trevor reminds me. I don't think he's as thick as Elway was.
Well, John was big, right?
But John was like the first like super athletic guy,
right?
Who played the position that way
and could throw
and could throw in an era where no one wanted you to leave the pocket.
Right.
Trevor has that type of same athletic ability as John Elway. I mean, different. It's hard to compare. But the question, I think, the next thing I want to see, which I think we've seen in practice, is he consistently accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Because what makes all those guys great, the Rodgers, the Bradys, the Mannings, the Breeze, is they're deadly accurate. They can put the ball where it needs to be.
And Trevor has sort of done it in spurts.
Well, you saw it on the throw to Marvin Jones Jr.
Right.
When he doesn't look open really, but he throws it high in a place where he almost throws him open.
And that's a gift.
That's a gift.
I don't think he necessarily.
That's right.
Even with the time he had, that is a difficult throw.
You have to see it and you have to react.
That's right. How long?
And it's once a practice.
That's right. At least.
Are you going to say? Because I want to bring up a topic that happened at practice today. Are you going to stay one more?
If you want me to, Bo.
Yeah, I'd like you to.
Your name's on the wall, Austin.
We'll hear more from John Ogier when we come back after this timeout. You can check out the official Jaguars Podcast Network. Free subscription on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Where are you, Tony?
Spotify.
Spotify, that's right.
Spotify.
This program archived right after the show.
I
Jaguars
download it right away.
Reporters.
All the time.
You do?
No.
You listen on the way home?
Yeah.
I
critique you.
I critique you.
Those smartphones have apps, don't they?
Do they really?
Apps.
You don't have to download it?
More coming up. We've got plenty ahead. Greg Cosell at 5 o'clock. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is presented in part by Dreamfinders Homes. Homes that fit your lifestyle. Next Grill. Everyone's invited. And Adecco. Visit AdeccoUSA.com. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Everyone's so busy keeping up. Forget about the Joneses. We all on our telephones with the texts and the tweets and the beats. What he said, she said, can't even follow the thread. Down the hole, we all go. Me, I like keeping up too, with my Corona and my attitude. That's La Vida Mas Fina.
Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer. Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Scrubbing soon to a location near you. You know and love the Scrubble Stars at the Town Center, Fleming Island, and Atlantic Beach. Now get ready for 4 new locations scrubbing soon this year, featuring Kernan, San Jose, Racetrack Road, and Oakleaf. Give your car the glitz and glam it deserves at the best car wash in town with free car prep, vacuums, window cleaner, and more. You can also catch us at every Jags home game and cool down at the Scrubbies Misting Arch. Drive in to see us now and in the future at our Scrubbing Soon locations. Scrubbles, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
Summer is the perfect time to update your home. It's the best savings of the year going on right now at Renewal by Anderson of Florida. Get 25% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Find out more at rbafla.com. Renewal by Anderson, the official replacement window and door partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Offer expires August 31st. Restrictions apply. Minimum purchase of 3 windows or patio doors required. License number CGC 1527613.
Hold on. You want me to tell them about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea in just 30 seconds? This is impossible. Hey, I'm Billy from Twisted Tea. How can I explain that first sip of cold, smooth, real brewed tea? So good! And the extra kick you get from just the right amount of alcohol? The twist of lemon, Wait, what? We're almost out of time? Oh, shit. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The effort, the +2 mentality we're talking about, just take a look at the tape. You know, the one thing, we made some mistakes, but we were physical, okay? And we had, you look at the tackles, 7, 8 guys on the ball. Every time the run went to the sideline, the one Miles there, shoot the next one to the sideline, we had 7, 8 black and teal jerseys there, and that was great. Some of the things I'd like to improve on, you know, obviously right before the half, winning that 2-minute drill. We go in, we win that drill, we get the ball coming back, now we get out and score, we're winning the game right there. So those are some things. Tackling was pretty good. We had a couple missed tackles on one play where they had a swing route, the corner missed it, and our leverage, but for the most part, the physicality really liked and the effort.
Joe Cullen, Jaguars defensive coordinator. You hear that voice, you know instantly who it is. Welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco is not here. He is in Minnesota covering the Vikings.
Who cares where he is? No one cares where he is.
I'm just alerting. Well. Oh, John Ozier's here, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's better.
Yeah.
A rating spike.
It is better.
Yeah.
That's what
that,
it is. Yeah. You know, he touched on it there, Joe Cullen, the physicality of the Jaguars' defense on Saturday night. He presented that. What about today's practice, John? They were out there in full pads today. Mm-hmm. It felt like there was a little urgency after we heard Urban talk this morning about some of those things we've discussed already, the tempo and things like that. Well, was it? I don't think they weren't doing Oklahoma drills or anything like that. But
those are almost against the law.
They are, I think. But what'd you think of practice today and all that?
It was more physical than your, normal 2 days after a game. At the same time, they're still in camp mode until, I guess, the end of this week. So it's not entirely unusual for them to be hitting. I don't want to overplay it. But it was – at first I wasn't sure because they had the installation period maybe 7 periods in. Yeah. And I was sort of used to some more live stuff in period 6 or 7, whatever it was. But as time went on, it felt like a training camp practice. Was it a punishment practice? I didn't get that feel, but they hit. I mean, which in
it's the
in
game
this
of
day and age,
it's the game of football. You're supposed to hit.
Well, but in this day and age, you don't always get that much, Tony. I mean, it's not like it was back in the 70s when you played.
Yeah,
7
leather helmets.
Well, first, I think Joe was right. I thought the defense was physical, especially against the run, and I think they're going to be better against the run. As far as today's practice, I wasn't out there. I had another engagement. But I did hear through Twitter and talking to people that the offensive line did gassers afterwards. Was there some punishment? Did they do something wrong?
That I don't know.
Was that did they not?
They were running.
They ran after, but they were the only group, right?
Yes. And
in my experience as an offensive lineman, anytime we had to run after practice, it was due to poor play, penalties.
Yeah.
Maybe a fight that I started.
Didn't Doug run the whole team in the past? Like at the end,
but that was the first training camp. That kind of and then we won, and then kind of went away.
Yeah, I mean there was.
But I mean,
certainly running.
Any other any practice I've ever seen, I've never seen
one group run.
One group run. I mean, now I've been in my history of playing football. I've been a part of the one group that's running.
And the reason.
Right. Yeah, there was usually we did something poorly. I was just curious, no sense of why that happened?
It was at the very tail end of practice, and Urban did not talk afterward.
Okay.
And Joe Cullen talked, who wasn't
and
involved.
he doesn't coach the offensive line,
right.
so
there was really no there were assumptions made,
yeah,
but I don't
follow
I don't
at AP Mark Long for the assumptions. He has the ball. I
Mark,
don't know, but.
Well, I know there was something with pads or pants or some.
Yeah.
It was like Pantsgate.
It was not Pantsgate.
It was Pantsgate.
I don't think. I didn't see any of that happen with my own two eyes, so that's why we can't comment on it.
I don't know either. But I just thought it was interesting. Well, and I only bring it up because there was
Pantsgate.
Pantsgate. It might be a thing. Hashtag Pantsgate. Put that out there. I want to see if what's that trend? I want a trend.
Your trend.
Because I only bring it up because after the game. And again, if you follow Twitter, Sports Talk Radio, everything reporting after the game, if you'd ask, tell me the unit that most underperformed.
Oh, everybody was all over the O-line.
Killing the offensive line.
Yeah.
Now,
you're the ex-lineman. I thought in several cases Trevor clearly held the ball too much, which led to at least one of the first half sacks. And then going back and watching it yesterday, I thought there were a lot more plays where they played okay than disastrous, but you're judging your disastrous. Overall, what'd you think?
Well, as an offensive line, unfortunately, all anyone remembers is the bad plays. That's all they remember. And so just get used to it. It's part of life. AJ Cann gave him an early sack. After that, I thought he played good. I mean, it was the first play of the game. It's preseason. Stuff happens. But I thought he was really physical, and he had a great year last year. I thought Linder was fine, typical Linder. I think Barch has a ways to go still. I still think his feet are an issue. The guys get on the edge a little bit.
Is he better?
Better, yes.
And improving to the point where he can be the swing guy? Well, he won't be. Shatley will be. But
yeah, Shatley. He's not as good as Shatley at this point.
Right.
I would put Shatley in first. But he's trending in the right direction. I mean, you can see he's working
It's a project. I mean, it was
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I thought the right tackle was just okay at best. I think Juwan Taylor, guys get on the edge too much. It's just too close, and the pockets get squeezed, and even you make the quarterback uncomfortable.
Right.
I thought Cam was fine, but he was. I mean, don't forget these were the backups too. It's not like Myles Garrett was out there, or like there was a bunch of backups.
Now
you were blocking some guys that might not even be on the team, and so I thought Cam was fine. Nothing, but
Now, the story of camp has been Walker Little. Urban mentioned it. AJP was out there that he thought he struggled a little bit with his hands.
I thought his hands were terrible.
And
terrible.
Terrible. I thought they were awful. I think Walker, and by the way, I've said it here, I think Walker Little will be a good player. I think he has the potential to be a great player. I think he will be a good player. I think we have to be careful of anointing guys after a couple practices, and all of a sudden the media around this place, in this city,
guilty.
I mean, start tweeting out that he's like some brick wall that's just dominating people. And the practices I've seen, he's been good, and Urban's been effusive in his praise. And he's a young player who's getting better, and he hasn't played a lot of football. He's been out because of COVID and injuries. And everything I love about him, he has naturally. He's big. He's powerful. He's a naturally big person. He's not like trying to be big. He's just big. He's athletic, good feet. He's powerful. I thought he ran blocked very well 2 nights ago. I thought he's just physical.
Mm-hmm.
Pass blocking, his feet are good. I think he needs to work on his sets. He sets himself up. He makes it harder on himself than he needs to. When you have a 3-step drop and you're dropping deep, go get the guy. Go be physical. And I just think his hands were awful. I mean, he doesn't, like, at times it looks like he doesn't know what to do with his hands.
Okay.
And they're just low and they're late. And and here's the great thing about
Ricky
it.
Bobby or something?
No, but the great thing about it is, and so I'm not trying to, because I'm a believer. I think he has the potential. I think he has the opportunity to be good. I think if I'm a betting man, I would bet money Walker Little is a starting left tackle for 10 years and is a good player. If I get the right odds, I'll bet money that he's a great player because he has that ability. And one of the things, even as bad as his hands were, like guys would just run into him and like wouldn't get there.
Got you.
Because he's just big and he's powerful.
Yeah, right.
And so, which is good. It didn't have to be perfect for him to block the guy. Now, again, he might be blocking a guy who's an accountant in 2 weeks.
Now, hands are everything. I've talked to a lot of defensive linemen over the years who tell me on their side, hands take time to develop the fundamentals you need. Same true on the offense. I mean, is this a long-term thing? Takes a long time to learn?
I mean, it'll get better. It's not going to be perfect this year, but the stuff I'm talking about, just like get him up.
It was defensive lineman.
Just get
technique.
Move him up here, not
just
down
get the
here.
hands in the
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
I mean, in front of you. And so for offensive line play, the most important thing is feet. I say all the time, you block people with your feet. If you're trying to block people with your hands or because you start reaching and leaning and everything else, it's all about body position and feet. So block people with your feet. He has those feet. I think he can clean some of it up. I think he can help himself out with some of his sets. All stuff that.
And if you don't have that, you'll never be great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just those are things you figure out. The hands is where you have to have heavy, strong hands. Is where you create your separation and create space and give yourself a chance to win. And that's just he's got work to do, but that's okay.
He's a rookie.
Like me saying he had awful hands, it's not like I have the highest respect
Headlines. Boselli crushes Walker Little.
I have the highest respect for him. I could argue he's your second best tackle right now.
There you go.
Well said.
We'll end with that. John, thanks for jumping on today with us. We appreciate
No problem.
it,
He's
man.
on the wall.
I've heard of it.
Right.
We'll look forward to your writing coming up this week on Jaguars.com.
All right, guys. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Johnny O, Jaguars.com senior writer. An upgrade from Prisco, I must say.
Oh, please. It's a low bar.
Daly's Play schedule starting to heat up for the fall. Lady A coming August 20th. Chris Tomlin, Carrie Joe Bethel Music Tour September 3rd, and plenty more ahead. DailysPlace.com for tickets. Plenty more ahead. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler Creative can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose between a collection of response channels from email and SMS texting to land pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
At ViStar, we believe in better. And what's better than saving up to $5,000 in closing costs when you buy or refinance a home? With a ViStar no closing costs mortgage, you'll get a great rate, no hidden fees, and like the name says, no closing costs up to $5,000. If you believe saving money is better, join ViStar. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Offer not available on VA and FHA mortgages. For more information, visit vistarcu.org.
So, it's happy hour. Let's talk whiskey options. Have you tried Citrus Distillers? Have you tried Citrus Distillers Limited Edition 2021 Barrel-Aged Jaguar Whiskey? Did you know it's only available for a limited time and manufactured in Jacksonville? Yes, Jacksonville. I said local whiskey. Try it on the rocks or in a Jack's Whiskey Sour. Citrus Distillers Jaguars Whiskey is available at local liquor stores, restaurants, and the Jaguar Stadium. Drink local, Jacksonville. Find recipes and events at jaguarswhiskey.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUVs of the future for everyone, like Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer, all named 2021 IIHS top safety picks with specific headlights. One of the many reasons why Ford has the freshest lineup of SUVs in America. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few, they're built for America. Ford SUVs, drive one today. When equipped with available LED headlamps based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10520.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I remember looking up in there, I was like, my gosh, we're in the middle of the second quarter, and we've had 3 drives, I think. You know, in college, you have 3 drives in the first quarter, or the fourth, you know, if you're really cooking. So that's, I knew that, but it was, now that I did it, it's on you quick.
It is indeed, Urban. That's head coach Urban Meyer. Some of the adjustments he in his first NFL game this past Saturday night. The Jaguars fell to the Cleveland Browns. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, no Pete Prisco this week. He should be back with us in a couple weeks. We're off next week because of, well, there's a Jaguars football game Monday night. The Jags and the Saints at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. 8 o'clock is the kickoff time Eastern. And we'll go on the air at, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is 3 hours before 8. That's the Publix Tailgate Show. 5 o'clock next Monday, ahead of the 8 o'clock kickoff of the Jags and the Saints that's coming up. That a lot of this, and Urban's been pretty transparent throughout this offseason about some of the things he doesn't know about the NFL and leaning on some of his assistants, and the flow of the game is part of that too, right? I mean, he just said it there. Some of these offenses in college these days are flying down the field. The clock stops, in certain situations in college. It doesn't in pro, and all of a sudden the game creeps away. If you can't get off the field, you look up at the clock and the quarter's over, you haven't had a ball. I mean,
well, they gave up a 20-play drive.
That's incredible, right? 20 plays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care where you are. If it's 20 plays, you're going to be out there for a while.
Yeah.
Now, there'll be adjustments, but
like 2 minutes.
I almost wonder sometimes, JP, is not that I know he's learning, but is it also Urban trying to communicate, hey, we're all in this together, we're learning together, even though, like, I get the sense, and I don't know this, that Urban's like, listen, I know this stuff. Like,
it's football.
It's football.
I've coached a few games.
I've won a few natties. I mean, everywhere I go wins. I mean, I know what I'm doing, guys. But, if he comes across that, it's a no-win for him. If he comes across, it's like, yeah, I'm learning. Like, this is new. This is different. And it is, but I don't think it's that big a deal. Like, I don't think, like, Urban's sweating it at night going, oof.
Wow, this challenge situation. I need.
Okay, I got this red flag. What do I do?
Where do I keep this thing? I don't know. Do I put my sock?
When do I call timeout? Is there 2 minutes?
Clock's running and doesn't stop.
Is the field, is it?
The hash marks. Oh, my gosh.
Because it's not like he's remember, he's never been a coordinator on either side of the ball. He's just a leader. He's just a head coach. He's a CEO. So it's not like if you were maybe an offensive coordinator who's never been at the NFL game and always been college, then the hash marks might be a bigger deal.
Right.
The mechanics of calling plays in over the headset would be different. But he's not doing any of that. He has guys who've already done it before. So it is a learning experience. And I do appreciate Urban's like willingness to have some transparency of saying, hey, this is like I'm figuring this out a little bit. But I just get the sense because he's so smart. I mean, the dude's smart.
Not like he hasn't thought about all those things before he took the job anyway, by the
dude
way.
Is so, I mean, the guy's impressive. And
Wait a minute. The hash marks are different. That wasn't in the brochure.
What in the world? Throw the red flag. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But, yeah.
The guy won 85% of his games.
The dude wins.
As a college
Let's hope
coach.
it translates here.
That would be a pretty.
Would winning 85% of the games be pretty good in the
I
NFL?
think that might be an all-time record.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
I mean, I'd have to go look it up, but I guess.
Well, over 100 games, if you were 85-15, yes, it would be a record.
So I think it would be just fine. But yeah, it's I was interested in hearing him after the game. How he's going to react to a situation like that, because he said going into the game. He understands the result of the score. Okay, you want to win, but you want to win plays and win one-on-one matchups and every rep and all
that
these
didn't happen either. That's the problem.
It wasn't all that.
No, you didn't win on the scoreboard, and then if you step back, and I always say, players and coaches know. Like I knew when I went into a preseason game, let's say I was just going to play a quarter. I know if we were successful or not. I don't care if we lost by 20 points at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that as a first unit offense that we either won the day or lost the day. Like you could just feel it. You knew score might indicate it, but even if it was like 3-0 and we had 2 series, but you were just like they weren't stopping us today. I mean, we were going to roll. So we'll talk more about that coming up. I want to, kind of, did they accomplish what they needed to in week 1?
Plenty ahead. The second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour is coming up, including a visit with Greg Cosell of NFL Films and ESPN's NFL Matchup. We'll get into the quarterback play, not only here in Jacksonville, but around the NFL in preseason week 1. Your social questions coming up as well. Plenty more ahead in the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com. The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Hold on. You want me to tell them about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea in just 30 seconds? This is impossible. Hey, I'm Billy from Twisted Tea. How can I explain that first sip of cold, smooth, real brewed tea? So good! And the extra kick you get from just the right amount of alcohol? The twist of lemon, Wait, what? We're almost out of time? Oh, shit. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
At ViStar, we believe in better. And that means treating people better with friendly, personal service that's kept our members happy since 1952. A smile and personal greeting when you enter the branch, an online or phone chat for those quick questions, and a call center that's open every day. If you believe that great service is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Jaguars Today. All Jaguars, all NFL, all the time. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
We were starting to kind of settle in there a little bit. I thought the guys that came in later in the game did great. Cleveland did a good job. Big zone team. They matched us pretty well. But no, I mean, I feel like first time out there, I felt comfortable, felt poised. Obviously, the first play is not kind of what you want for the first play, but after that, I thought we did a good job. We communicated well up front. They did a really good job with protection. At least one of those sacks was on me for sure, just holding the ball too long. So that's something I'll work on, and just maneuvering in the pocket is something I've always got to work on. So other than that, I missed an easy one to Marvin, a little quick out that I wish I would have hit. But other than that, I felt good out there. I thought we were seeing it all on the same page, and there's obviously things to clean up, but I thought it was a pretty good day.
Trevor Lawrence after Saturday night's preseason opener, his debut in the preseason of his rookie campaign. Welcome in. It's the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli. Pete Prisco is out this week. He'll be back with us in a couple of weeks. Yes, Tony, you're raising your hand.
Let me tell you what. Trevor Lawrence, smart man. Smart man. You want to win over your offensive lineman? Put the sack on you.
It was on me. I held the ball too long.
I held it too long. They did a great job. Kudos to you.
Those guys were perfect.
Mr. Lawrence.
Love that.
That is going to get you brownie points in the offensive line. That and get a good gift at Christmas, you'll be set.
All that. Plenty
buy
ahead.
some dinner every once in a while.
Plenty ahead on Jaguars Happy Hour, including your social questions coming up. Let's go to our good friend Greg Cosell. He is with NFL Films, senior producer, NFL Matchup on ESPN, the executive producer and analyst there. And Greg, thanks for coming on with us today on Jaguars Happy Hour. Good to see you and talk to you. And, we're going to go through some quarterbacks around the league, but Jacksonville folks finally got a chance to see the long blonde locks of Trevor Lawrence wearing teal, which is always fun.
Well, you know what, guys? It's great to be with you. And I'm going to start off by asking Tony a question. So, Tony, when coaches coach, do they coach for guys to be just okay or average, or to do it the right way all the time?
Well, I mean, Greg, you know this as well as I do. The good coaches demand the best.
Correct.
And I agree with you. We were talking off the air. The coach's job is to get the most out of the player. You do that two ways. You put them in the best possible position to have success. And number two, you ask them to perform at the level you believe they can achieve. Not where they are, not where they're comfortable. You take them to a level where it's uncomfortable, and you ask them to reach there. And any player worth their salt will tell you that's what they want. It's not always pleasant. It's not fun, especially depending on the personality of the coach. As you know, some of them aren't as nice as others, but that's what you want. That's what coaching's about.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was really fortunate in my career to learn the quarterback position from Bill Walsh. And the way he taught it was that you do it the right way every single time. So when I watch a quarterback, that's the way I think about it. And obviously it's the first performance, but that should not be totally relevant, because it's being coached, it's being taught, and you want to go out there and you want to see not only the quarterback, everybody, but obviously we're going to talk quarterbacks and Trevor Lawrence. You want to see it done right all the time. So if you'd like to do that, I certainly could.
Yeah. So, Greg, let's talk about that. I mean, as you look at Trevor Lawrence, I mean, obviously, I know you watch a lot of film, of these guys in college leading up to the NFL draft, and you watch a ton of pro games and break that down with your responsibilities. Give us a breakdown of what you saw and do it in the light of what you were expecting. We know it's the first preseason game, but as you said, you got to do it right all the time if you want to be great.
Yeah, I thought where he was really good was there were some spot throws to the outside. He hit Jones, I think, for 10 yards on 3rd and 9. I think that was the first series.
Yep.
It was a 10-yard out. That was a spot throw. That's more of an execution throw than a read throw. He also hit a spot throw another time in the game. I think probably say he only played 2 series, was it?
Yeah,
that's right. Yep, 15
Yeah.
plays.
I think you're probably thinking on these the one-to-man hurts on the sit route. Just
yeah,
the
there were 2 spot throws that he showed a strong sense of timing, because those are throws. I remember working, with Ron Jaworski for years and years, one of my best friends, and he would tell me that there were certain throws that, based on the timing of the drop and the throw, that he could throw blindfolded, because they're spot throws, they're timing throws. And I thought Lawrence, for a rookie quarterback, really did a good job with those. That was a real positive. He talked about, and I know what you said, Tony, about the O-line. The first sack was on Lawrence, the first play of the game. He was slow to eliminate and isolate. The read was to the left side. He stayed focused on slot receiver Jones far too long. He had Chenault open on the inbreaker to the read side. The Browns had a 5-man rush. They played cover 1. The throw should have been to Chenault. He just stayed on Jones too long. First play, probably to be expected, but again, something now to teach and to work on.
Greg Cosell with us from NFL Films and ESPN's NFL Matchup. Yeah, for a rookie quarterback, having that clock in your head of, when to get rid of this thing, not to hold it too long. How long does that take for a quarterback to figure that out, Greg?
Well, there's reasons, JP, why quarterbacks hold it too long. Sometimes it's truly because the coverage wins. For instance, the second sack came on a shot play out of 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. It was conventional play action with Lawrence under center. It was mirrored crosses by Jones and Johnson. It was 7-man pass pro, which tells you it's a shot play. They're looking to get him on a deep drop. They want to throw the ball down the field. And ATN released late into the flat. The Browns took it away with cover 3. There was no throw to be made. Yeah. Now, could you sit here and say you could throw it into the flat? Maybe, but there was truly no throw to be made. Another play that I think is something you really want to work on, and by the way, this is very common with young quarterbacks. It was the 3rd and 4 play that ended the first possession, where he threw it to Chenault on the slot out route, and it was incomplete, obviously, because they punted. He drifted into the pressure. He drifted instead of staying on the midline and giving himself an opportunity to make a clean throw. Trevor drifted to his left, right behind, I guess it was Cam Robinson, the left tackle, and he created his own pressure, so he made it a more difficult throw than it was. Now, Antonio will understand this, because someone will probably say Cam Johnson didn't do a good job, but Trevor drifted into him, and it made it tougher for Cam Robinson to make the block.
Yeah, Cam, it wasn't Cam's fault there. You're exactly right, Greg. There was a little bit of a soft pocket by Jawan Taylor on the right side, and Trevor felt that and started drifting backwards into the left. If he would have stepped up and took it about 2 shuffles to the left, there was space there where he could have sat there for an extra click and then be able to throw the ball with his feet set. And those are things, and he even mentioned it, I got to be better in the pocket.
Yeah.
And that's what you see young quarterbacks do all the time. They go backwards instead of forwards. Heck, Patrick Mahomes still does it, but he has such a special arm, he gets away with it somehow. He backs up to 15 yards and just throws it up. I have no idea how he gets away with it. Offensive tackles, nightmare. But the ones who are consistently great are they move forward. They climb the pocket.
You make a great point, because don't forget, too, Lawrence was not under pressure very often in college. He might have been under what I consider pressure. Everybody has their different sense of pressure, but I think of pressure in terms of the NFL, and I know, Tony, you would agree with this. He wasn't really under pressure more than 35 or 40 pass attempts at Clemson this past year, true pressure. So he has to get used to working out of a noisy, muddied pocket where there are people around him, but that's not really pressure by NFL standards. And you make a great point. The response to that, if you're not used to it, is to drift either sideways or backwards. And you cannot drift backwards in the NFL. You mentioned Mahomes, you have to put that aside. He's just a different cat, and he can make these throws that a lot of people can't. but you cannot move backwards versus pressure in the NFL.
Greg, it's a great point and interesting. And you talked about the first play that was the sack fumble, and that, he held it a little bit long, stayed on Marvin Jones Jr., should have got the Chenault. But the positive for me on that play was he stood there tall in the pocket. Now, he fumbled it, but he stood there. He wasn't getting nervous as it got crowded in there, and he was still looking down the field. He just didn't find the right person and didn't get off. But at least, and you've seen this, and this is what always worries me, is in that situation, the eyes go down, you start getting happy feet, you're looking for an exit. And he didn't. I actually didn't like the sack fumble. As an offensive lineman, wouldn't have liked it. But I appreciate it in the evaluation. Here's a guy standing tall and is not getting nervous when everything's collapsing.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point because a lot of young quarterbacks, and let's think of it this way. While Trevor Lawrence has mobility and is a plus athlete for a man that size, when all's said and done, guys, he's going to make his bones in this league as a pocket player. Yes, does he have the ability to get outside? Can you run some design run game stuff with him? You can. But he's ultimately going to be a pocket quarterback. And I think that's a great point. Instead of just immediately fleeing the pocket, which is a hard thing to teach a guy to stay in the pocket if he doesn't have that natural trait to begin with, that's a hard thing to teach. And Tony, you're right. He didn't look to leave the pocket at any point in this game.
Greg Cosell with us from NFL Films, ESPN's NFL matchup as well. Just going back to the college tape, Greg, I know you dug deep on this, on all these quarterback prospects. How does his accuracy, arm strength, ability to push it down the field compare to some of the all-time guys in those departments? Is he right up there near the top, at least as a prospect?
Well, JP, let's take a step back for a minute here. I know that Trevor came out with this idea that he was, an all-timer to start. I think he's a talented kid. He's a big kid. There's no problem with his arm strength. Does he have an absolute gun? I wouldn't say he has a gun, but there's no problem with his arm strength. I think one thing that stood out, and you didn't see it very often, but you asked me, if he has any things that were concerning.
Yes.
And it showed up 2 years ago in playoff games, and even this year in a playoff game, is he's a little bit of a strider when he throws. He's a body thrower. And he steps into his throws. So the one thing that you want to see is how he handles himself when there's pressure up the middle in his face. Because like I said, he's a step thrower. And at times in college, there were times that he struggled a bit. He'd hurry his mechanics and he would become a little scattershot high. So again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's a weakness and he can't play, but that's just something that I think you need to be aware of. And that's based purely on tape study.
Greg Cosell with us. How about a few other debuts this week in preseason week 1? Josh Fields had a day for the Bears. Trey Lance had a long pass play, but he was 5 of 14. Zach Wilson got out there for the Jets. Mac Jones was fairly efficient for the Patriots. Which of those guys you think will have the most impact right away, Greg?
Well, we know Zach Wilson's going to start. So I don't think there's a question there. My guess is Justin Fields will as well, but Zach Wilson, I think, is in an offense that does fit what he brings to the table. It's really the 49ers offense because Mike LaFleur, who's Matt's brother and who's with the 49ers, he's bringing the Kyle Shanahan offense, which features a lot of designed movement. And you can see that Wilson is comfortable with play action boot. He's an easy thrower on the move. He's got light feet. I think that this style of offense fits him well. So obviously there's other factors as to whether a quarterback succeeds or doesn't succeed. But I think that stylistically and structurally, the offense that he's in with the Jets fits him.
If you look at all the guys, Greg, last question for me that JP just talked about, at some point this year, will all of them be starters in the NFL?
I'm sure Justin Fields will be sooner than later. I guess the Cam Newton situation would depend on how he plays, because I think there'll be a running football team playing with a lot of 2 tight ends. I think Trey Lance depends on Garoppolo, because Lance, he had that long touchdown, which was a play they love. They've run it in the regular season with great success over the last number of years. But Lance was very unsettled. He needs to be more settled in the pocket. He needs to calm down a bit. He threw the ball a little too hard on plays that require touch and pace. So we'll see. I would bet Garoppolo will end up starting, and then it will depend on how they do because the Niners have a good football team.
Yeah.
We always learn a lot when Greg Cosell is on our programs, and it's great to have you again. It's been a little bit. Appreciate you coming on today and give us some insight to Trevor Lawrence and some young quarterbacks. It's always good to see you, Greg.
You always get smarter when Greg Cosell comes on the program. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys, really appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Give him a follow at Greg Cosell on Twitter. A good man. Let's come back. Plenty ahead. We'll come back in a moment with Keeping It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. More offensive line talk with Tony Boselli. Yes, let's go. That's coming up.
That was abrupt.
Your social questions are coming up as well. Tony really loves those.
Yes, my
and
favorite.
It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Titos Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to TitosVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. TitosVodka.com.
It may be football season, but pests are in full force here in Jacksonville. That's why you need Kingfish Pest Control's $99 knockdown treatment. Kingfish Pest Control will safely eliminate spiders, ants, roaches, and more for just $99, backed by their 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned with thousands of A-plus customer reviews. They're hands down the best pest control company in Metro Jacksonville and a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Let the pros tackle the pest in your home. Go to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com. You expect Jags fans to say, Duval. You expect the Beard Stadium's going to be cold, the dogs will be hot, but what you don't expect is an airport hotel with a renovated, inviting lobby, a cool bar, and crowded restaurant, or 10,000 square feet of space just waiting for your next family or business event. At the Crowne Plaza Jacksonville Airport, you should always expect to be surprised. Book online or call 1-877-2-CROWN. That's 1-877-227-6963.
Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet, who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and diehard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. The official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
Summer is the perfect time to update your home. It's the best savings of the year going on right now at Renewal by Anderson of Florida. Get 25% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Find out more at rbafla.com. Renewal by Anderson, the official replacement window and door partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Offer expires August 31st. Restrictions apply. Minimum purchase of 3 windows or patio doors required. License number CGC 1527613.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Camp was pretty solid. Juwan was a little, we're working on some things today. He had a great training camp, so we're good. He's just got to, did not play great, to answer your question. Didn't play awful, didn't play great. AJ Camp played very solid. Gave up one pressure, but he's been really solid all the way through. Linder didn't play much. Obviously, Norwell's got one more week out, but Barch actually did okay in there. So we're developing that third guard, which we need, and the third tackle right now. Walker Little struggled, which he was playing low hands for some reason, and it was on him really fast. So he's got to get a lot of reps. We're counting on him, and he had a really good training camp, so we got to get him going.
That's head coach Urban Meyer discussing the offensive line. Welcome back to Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco is out. He'll be back with us in a couple of weeks. Our thanks to Greg Cosell, a great insight at the quarterback position on Trevor Lawrence's debut Saturday night, and a few other names around the NFL. Time now for Keeping It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients, award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. So we're going to keep it real as we discuss the offensive line. We heard from Urban Meyer there. That was this morning. Our first chance to catch up with the head coach since Saturday and his performance. So the question is, Cam Robinson, left tackle. Jawan Taylor, right tackle. Walker Little. You heard the head coach Urban Meyer right there say he didn't really play. He struggled, he said. Would you start giving Little reps with the first team at some point, and when would that be? And would you at all?
I'm less worried about giving him reps with the first team. I definitely would want him out there. It'd be a great opportunity against the Saints. Go get some real defensive end work. And not that he has it in practice, I'm saying, but he didn't see real NFL defensive ends. I mean, he saw guys who might be backups or practice squad guys, for the Browns because they were playing their down the long guys.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, you're going to be on Monday Night Football. The Saints are going to play their front line guys. I'd get him reps against those guys. Let him go taste it because he has a ton of ability, and Urban's right. He did not have a great game. Now, the funny thing is, it's not like he got beat and got the quarterback killed. It was just his technique was terrible. His hands were awful.
He still got guys blocked, but it was just
it was ugly, though. It was all over him, and I think what Urban's saying is a good player would have given him trouble, a lot of trouble. I agree with him on A.J. Cann. A.J. Cann's a good player. Linder didn't play a lot. I agree with that. I think he's I'll give him the benefit. I'll agree with him from the standpoint of what he's seen in Jawan Taylor because he's watched a lot more than I have during camp. But I would agree with him on the assessment of how Jawan played in the game. Not great. What did he say about Cam? He thought Cam played really well.
He thought he played well, yeah.
I thought he played fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't dominating or anything.
Right.
He played fine. I mean, I would agree with that. So, yeah. But Walker Little, I want to get him reps. I want to put pressure on Jawan Taylor and Cam Robinson. And I want to see – and Walker needs reps. I'm going to circle all the way back to what I said at the beginning about who plays, how much they play. Trevor Lawrence needs Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence.
A long lost brother.
I was going to we got ahead of myself with ETN. Trevor Lawrence needs reps. ETN needs reps. Tyson Campbell needs reps. Walker Little needs reps. They're rookies. If you're going to count on them and you're going to expect production out of them this year and to help you win games, they need reps. You can't give them enough. And I love the fact that Urban kept Walker Little at left tackle for 3 quarters.
He was out there a long time.
It's good for him.
Long time.
Now I want to see him get some reps, with that first unit against the top, the top rushers from the Saints.
I mean, Walker was one of the top. He was actually the guy who played the most plays on 49 plays. 73% of the plays he was out there.
49 plays. In the regular season, you're going to play 60, 70.
I understand that. I'm just saying, that's how much he played.
I agree, but my point is he needs reps. I mean,
he hasn't played in 2 years.
No, and he's going to be fine. He'll be good. So I think Urban's assessment was a fair one. I think he was pretty honest there, which he typically is with the players.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. That's Keeping It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients, award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi.
When does the Woodbridge case come in for us?
I have yet to see one in the office.
I thought this.
Maybe it's not getting past the mailroom. I don't know why.
This Mondavi segment, Woodbridge segment, we were going to pour a glass of red for you and I and sip on the red as we talked in front of the fireplace about our.
As we answer social questions.
And muse about our feelings about the football team.
Well, that would be quite an evening. I look forward to that at some point, Tony.
Is that allowed, Joe?
No, I don't think it is.
Is there in all seriousness, because, obviously everyone, I'm joking. Is there, well,
maybe.
It depends on the answer to this next question, whether I'm joking or not. Is there like some FTC rule that you're not allowed to have alcohol?
FTC. What does FTC stand for, Tony?
Or FCT? What's the
FCC?
FCC.
Federal Communications
FCC.
Commission.
I thought there was a T in there. Sorry.
There is not a T.
What are you saying?
Exactly, Ashlyn. Thank you.
FCC. Is there some Joe? Is there
Yes.
an FCC regulation you're not allowed to consume alcohol on the air?
Joe Fortunato.
From what I understand, you cannot put alcohol to your lips.
That's a rule.
Yeah.
How often
they teach that in school that
Well, I
you
didn't
didn't go
to school
to?
for it.
I know.
I didn't go to
You ever
school
see a
for
beer
it.
commercial? They don't really drink it.
beer.
They
right.
get close.
Now on podcasts they do though.
It's not over the air.
Well, they do. What do you mean it's not?
It's not over the air, like literally over the air.
When I download it, it comes through the air to my phone.
It's not a broadcast transmission. That's what they do.
Okay, because I'm curious. I didn't know. Because in Major League.
Yeah, it's a movie. Yeah.
What's his name?
Harry Doyle. And,
No. The Major League, Joe.
The announcer.
Who's the announcer? Who's the announcer?
Harry Doyle was his name in the movie, and it's Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker. That's what I couldn't think about. Bob Uecker broke open a bottle of bourbon on the air. So
it's a movie, Tony.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying as well.
So you're saying you're not allowed to. So let's cancel my idea about having a glass of red wine.
Well, I mean, I like the idea, but
Well,
I don't think
it's
we'll
the
be
rules.
able to
I'm not-
execute.
I'm not a rule breaker, JP.
No, we follow straight and narrow.
Whether
That's
it's
what we do.
whether it's the FCC or the FTC, I don't want to break either. of
Law
those.
and order every time. That's us. We're back in a moment. Plenty ahead. Social questions right around the corner. Yes, secure the best seats at the best price. You can become a Jaguars season ticket member. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Titos Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to TitosVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. TitosVodka.com.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Healthcare coverage for less? Yes. Now, because of the new healthcare stimulus, you can get better benefits, more coverage, and pay less with a Florida Blue plan. Claim your savings today. Visit floridablue.com/getcovered now. Policies have limitations and exclusions. If you already had health insurance in 2021, speak with an agent to find out how changing plans could impact your deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums. Florida Blue and Health Options Incorporated, DBA Florida Blue HMO, are independent licensees of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Scrubbing soon to a location near you. You know and love the Scrubble Stars at the Town Center, Fleming Island, and Atlantic Beach. Now get ready for 4 new locations scrubbing soon this year, featuring Kernan, San Jose, Racetrack Road, and Oakleaf. Give your car the glitz and glam it deserves at the best car wash in town with free car prep, vacuums, window cleaner, and more. You can also catch us at every Jags home game and cool down at the Scrubby's Misting Arch. Drive in to see us now and in the future at our Scrubbing Soon locations. Scrubbles, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You know, so much of the first game was, I mean, the conversation we had about only get them a series, only get 10 plays. And, you know, I think it was a great learning lesson that, you know, it's called a plan to win. When you start the game and they go right down the field, kick a field goal, then we knock it out to the 18, I think it was 18-yard line. And the worst penalty in football is when you see that. You know, now your offense is backed up. And so just talking about how every drive counts, and that's, when you're only talking about 60 plays, 3 hours of football, that's a big change for a lot of players and coaches. You know, they get in a couple drives a half, you know, or in college, you know, you're 80, 90 plays a lot of times. So every play's got to count, every drive's got to count.
Urban Meyer earlier today, and welcome back. Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, no Pete Prisco tonight. And it's time for social media questions. Tony, it's your favorite time of each and every show where we dig into the mailbag. We put out the bat signal earlier today on social media, and here are the best that we've come up with.
Let's rock and roll. My favorite segment.
We've got a bunch of them tonight. Number one tonight from @General of Duval: should C.J. Henderson start week 1?
No idea. It's way too early. I think he's been out, a total of 3 practices fully padded?
Yes.
So let's give it some time.
3 straight, but going into the game Saturday.
Yeah.
And out there again today.
Which is great.
He was at reps with the ones today.
It's a better team if C.J. Henderson's your starting corner because he's a good football player.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be available. He's had some off-the-field issues. When I say issues, it's, you know, we're not sure what they are. But he's had some sort of health issues, whether it's the betterment of, like, physical health, mental health. I have no idea. And by the way, it's none of my business. It's none of any of our business until it does. You know, if he can't play, then they'll let us know why. But all I know is we're a better team with him out there, and he played well in the first preseason game. He showed his ability. He had the one missed tackle, but he hadn't had that many reps out there. I'm not overly concerned with that. Had a couple pass breakups.
Yeah.
I like our secondary. If he's starting at one corner, you got Shaquille Griffin at the other, and you have Tyson Campbell as your nickel.
Pretty good
I feel
trio.
pretty good right there. Pretty athletic, pretty fast.
Let's see how the rest of camp and the preseason goes with him. Next question
early,
from
though.
@SBoston2587. Could Tony see pushing Taylor inside to right guard since analysts had him doing better there because of his power instead of footwork? Pushing Cam to right tackle and putting Walker at left tackle since he was literally like a wall Saturday night. I think at most I saw him get pushed 3 to 4 steps back. That's a long series of thoughts.
Yeah, so one, Walker Little is a big man in physical. We talked about he has a lot of work to do. I do think he ultimately will be a starting tackle here, with left or right, because he has that kind of talent. He's athletic, he's powerful, he's a naturally big man. I'm not sure why you would move Juwan Taylor into right guard when maybe the guy who played the best football of any of your offensive linemen last year was A.J. Cann.
Yeah.
And A.J. Cann, everyone's going to pay attention to the first play, where if the ball's out on time, it's late pressure. The ball was held, end up getting a sack. Offensive line's always going to get blamed for it, even if it's not completely their fault. Go watch the rest of the game. Every play from that, he was pretty much physically dominating. He was very good last year. A.J. Cann's one of your best offensive linemen, so no, I'm not moving Juwan Taylor inside to take A.J. Cann's job.
Yeah, they want to start
Makes
flipping people
zero,
all left to right, up and down. Like, what are we doing?
Now, if you wanted to move Cam to right tackle and go compete with Juwan Taylor because you wanted Walker Little, possibly later this year, Walker Little's got to get better.
When he's ready
right
for
now,
that. He's not ready.
He's not better than Cam at left tackle at this point. Today. Right this second.
He's not.
Not based on what we saw on the tape.
Could he be better at right than Juwan now?
I don't know. Tell me when I see it.
Okay.
I mean, all you can go by is the tape. Not what we want, not what you hope, not based on your bias or your feelings or what a guy did last year.
Either you did or you didn't.
So if I watch the tape, Cam performed better than Walker Little. Okay, Cam should play.
Next question from @the_JagsFan615. On D, how did the run fits look on tape? We all believe it will be crucial to stop the run, not only this year, but every year. Hashtag Go Jags. You know what? You're right. It is crucial to stop the run, not only this year, but every year.
If I were to get Jags fan 615 on the phone, or the _ Jags fan 615 on the phone, and asked him to give me the definition of a run fit, what's that mean? I know what it means, but I'm saying, do you think he knows what a run? Like, JP, if I asked you.
I mean, what if that's actually, the linebacker coach chiming in?
Maybe it is. Like, if I were to ask you, JP, give me a description of run fits.
The way I understand it, it's fitting the gaps up front, right?
So
everybody has a gap to fill.
Yep. So if you're a one gap defense, if I'm the one technique and my responsibility is the front side A gap, I'm run fitting into that gap. If it's a two gap defense, it's different because now I'm reading the man and I'm playing two gaps. Very simple. So okay.
Thank you.
Overall run fits. I'll be honest with you, I didn't study the defense that closely where I watched like every single play and watched I watched individual play more than anything. For this first preseason game, typically the way I watch the preseason is watched individuals. Less about scheme, more individual. I thought Devon Hamilton, very good. I thought Dwan Smoot played a solid game. Malcolm Brown flashed, had some good plays, got in the backfield.
The Browns ran 12 times for 15 yards in the first half.
Robertson,
Roy Robertson Harris.
Robertson Harris. I
want to learn his name. He's going to start.
Robinson Harris.
Roy Robertson Harris.
I know. I'm just calling him by his last name, just like I called Brown by his last name. And like I called Hamilton by his last name. He happens to have two last names, Robertson Harris.
It's hyphenated, but sure.
Well, he has double last names, right?
Go ahead.
So does it count just as one if it's hyphenated?
That's a great question. It's all one word. If it's hyphenated, it's one word.
It's one name. Robinson Harris.
Robertson.
That's what I said.
Robinson.
I said Robertson.
Okay, go ahead.
Robertson.
We know who you're talking about.
Okay, so you say it then.
Roy Robertson Harris.
Robertson Harris.
Thank you.
That's what I said the first time.
Good job.
You're really being
way to go.
Mean-spirited.
I wish we had Pete back here.
Robertson Harris was good and solid and physical and big. None of the guys I mentioned are great pass rushers by means. Dwan Smoot's probably the best of them. I thought Chase on some good run, did good pass rushing. Josh Allen had some good pass rushes, but overall the run defense was very good.
Which is what you want. That's good. That was a good start. But then again, the Browns junior varsity was out there.
Yes. No starters.
None.
Two best backs, not there. Top receivers, not there. Top tight end, not there. Starting line, not there. Quarterback, not there. You were playing the JV, second team.
That should have been the keeping it real segment right there. But we'll see. I mean, hey, it's a good start, though. Good.
Yeah, you only can play who you play.
That's it. Hey, they ran him out there. So, next question from @J Hopkins BGS. Question for you, JP. It seemed to me when you interviewed Urban after the game that he was more upset about losing preseason than other head coaches have been midseason. Did it come across that way to you? Great show. No. I think he was
negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Thank you. I think that he was frustrated with some of those situations. We heard him talk about the holding on the kickoff return, and the field position was not great, and they didn't execute a couple times on that 4th and 1 play. It didn't work out. And I think he said going into the game, the results, you want to win the game, but there are more important things to a preseason game than the actual final score. Some other coaches would think differently on that we've seen around here. Every coach midseason is going to have a much different idea of that than they do in the preseason. So I'm not sure what that was about.
If you have a game like that, opening day against Houston,
not good.
I think he'll share his
post-game interview
displeasure.
Would be interesting. I'll say that.
Good luck.
I'd rather not. Yeah.
Let's hope it doesn't.
Let's go ahead and win.
Let's hope we win all 17.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's move along. Next question @Jags 1185. Thoughts on pass rush? I know it was the first preseason game, but should we be concerned with the lack of pass rush? Guys weren't getting enough pressure to affect quarterbacks and didn't seem to be getting home on blitzes, Tony. Oh, my goodness.
Remember one thing that you said that was right. Please don't panic. If you want to look at pass rush, Josh Allen had very few reps. The couple he did, he had a good inside pass rush, got pressure.
He didn't play long at all.
So I like.
Can't even get warmed up.
Yep, and K'Lavon Chason had 2 really good pass rushes that stood out where he won.
Allen played 12 snaps.
Here's the thing, and how many of those were actually in pass rushing situations?
Good point.
Not many.
Yeah.
The ball was out quick. Case Keenum's a veteran. It was a lot of short passing. Hit the 3rd step, hit the 5th step. It's out. It's hard to hit the quarterback when that's happening. And so I would not – I'm concerned about it overall for the season. Like, where is the pass rush going to come?
We talked about that last week with Pete on this show.
So I think
tried to add up sacks.
I think it's a fair question to ask. What happened in the preseason game has 0 impact on my being happy or sad or scared or optimistic about it.
Doesn't change your feelings on anything.
Not one bit.
Okay. Next question from @DestinRay49. Let's cut the team. Sir, that's not a question.
Yeah, that's a statement, and Pete's not here to do it for you, so I will not do that.
The first cut is tomorrow. Deadline. They're going to go from 90 to 85.
See, I knew this. I had this argument, and you know what? If Frank and Jeff are listening right now, Joe, you were in the booth, and I said there's multiple cuts.
Yeah,
they
one
have to
every
make a
week,
cut here.
every
and
Tuesday.
What did they say, Joe? Put your mic on. Tell them what they said. Tell me. I want you to say it. Say it.
No, he doesn't remember.
What they said is, no, it's all one cut. I'm
That's
like, no,
incorrect.
it's not.
No, there's one every Tuesday.
Logs, Frangie, don't ever question me again. I'm always right.
It goes to 85 tomorrow. Next Tuesday, it goes from 85 to 80. And then the next Tuesday, it's down to 53.
Yes.
With basically 2 weeks to the regular season.
I knew it.
This is
and
new.
And there's going to be 16 people available for the practice squad.
Yes. Those rules are the same as last year.
You can protect 4.
Yes. All that's
like
the
that.
same from last year. But the cut is different this year.
Any surprises on this first cut?
I think on the first cut there won't be many surprises, right? I mean,
the
because
only
at this
name
point,
the only team I heard is so ridiculous. Tim Tebow was getting killed on Twitter last night.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
just
know.
killed,
I
not just
know.
in Jacksonville, like nationally,
all over the place.
But the interesting thing about Tim Tebow to me was not the missed blocks or any of that stuff. That happens in football, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a brand new tight end. He's never played the position
They're paid
before.
also, yes. That's right. Those other guys are paid across the line.
And
yeah.
it just
yeah.
So I can critique that. I can walk through it. We've talked about it. Jeff and I have talked about it. There's a physicality that he needs to work on, so on and forth. It got too much. The memes, it was too much to me.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, give me the guy a break. Because I could literally go through Hall of Famers tape and show
similar things.
Embarrassing blocks. That's just not. I don't like stuff like that.
Anyway.
Anyways, the bigger thing I'd be concerned about. He was the only tight end that didn't play in any special teams.
None. 0 snaps.
And typically, if you're going to be a down the line tight end or that move tight end / fullback, you are playing on special teams because you're not going to be kept if you otherwise. And so, I'm not saying he's going to be a first cut. But that was surprising to me, JP, that he was not, because
0
you would
snaps.
think if your plan was to have Tim Tebow on this roster as your 4th or 5th tight end or 4th, 5th tight end / fullback, which we've seen him run in practice, that he would be on special teams. And so that was like the light went off. I'm like, ooh, this is interesting.
Because you got other guys, going 10 reps on special teams. That's the high watermark on
look at
Saturday
every other
night.
tight
7,
end.
8. I mean, there's a bunch of
Correct me if
tight
I'm
ends.
wrong.
Luke Farrell had 8 snaps on special teams.
Go down the tight end list. Manhurts I saw out there for kickoff return.
Let's see, Farrell had 8. Davis had 5 snaps on special teams.
2 of the tight ends.
O'Shaughnessy had 2 snaps on special
Starting
teams.
tight end.
Ellison had 6. Manhurts had 1.
Starting
Everybody
tight end.
else,
But Manhurts is the starter, and he had
everybody else had at least 1.
And he was on kickoff return because I remember seeing him, and he's a starter. I was shocked that Tebow got no reps. I would be concerned if I was a player who was trying to make this roster on the down at the bottom of the roster, which Tim Tebow's clearly trying to do. He's not going to be the starter. He's not going to be the second. He's not a dynamic pass catcher. That's not his role. They've been moving him a move tight end, block, in the fullback at the fullback position. If that was my role and I'm not on any special teams, I'd start looking around going, hey, I can cover kicks, raise my hand, hey, I can block.
Punt block, something.
Like, what do you want me to do? Coach, put me in. Because you have to contribute there if you're going to make this roster. So I just bring that up because cuts are coming tomorrow.
Yes.
5. I'm not saying he's getting cut. I have no idea who's getting cut. Urban nor Trent called me, asking me for my opinion.
They didn't.
No, I'm shocked. They should.
I mean, I know they're new and all, guys, but Tony's on the wall.
Don't they understand that it has to go through me? I mean, like.
Just ask you. You'll tell him.
By the way, no one in the history of this franchise has ever called me and asked me who they should go. I have plenty of opinions every year, whether I was a player or not, but no one asked me.
And I'm also curious. Urban touched on it a little bit today, the effort all these guys put through. It's got to be about the first time he's had to cut guy. I mean, he's probably
he's run people off.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Come on.
The guys have gone through off season and training camp, and his first time to have to sit down across the desk and cut 5 guys.
It's hard.
It's
not.
Doug hated it.
Well, everyone hates it. I've had to fire people in my professional career before, and it's miserable. It's no fun. You don't want to do that. No one wants to do that, especially when someone's worked hard and given you everything they got, and you still have to tell them sorry. That's why it's different than running a guy off at college because Urban's he
deserves it. Right?
Yeah, he's a bad guy. Do bad things. Like it's easy. Like just get out. Like I'm tired of you.
We've given you 4 chances.
Yeah, it's enough. Right. But when you are doing everything the coaches ask and you're working your tail off and you're just not good enough, and you as the individual have to tell that guy that, not fun.
For one final social media question from @Jacob Reinhart too. All right, Tony, which do you like being on better? Colin Cowherd or Jaguars Happy Hour? And he submitted a photo of you on television with Cowherd today.
I'm a loyal Jaguar.com. I don't think there's a better host in the nation on radio than JP. So I'll choose JP every day of the week.
How about that?
Sorry,
I appreciate that.
That's how I roll.
That's high praise. I appreciate that. Colin's been at it for a long time.
Colin's great. Love Colin.
Yeah.
Been on the show several times. I think he's one of the best radio people in the business.
What do you have to say about the Jags?
What he does, before I get that, what he does is remarkable to me. He literally carries a 3 or 4 hour show 7 days or 5 days a week by himself with guests. Like, you know how hard it is just to talk into a mic for 3 straight hours?
Him and Jim Rome. It's like, what in the world?
It is unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy. And so I think he's one of the best.
What do you have to say about the Jaguars?
But I'd still choose to be with you, JP.
That's very nice, Tony. Thank you.
Just asking about, it was a lot of Trevor. Let me give you the gist of the interview, which is
the national
this is what
stuff.
people want to know
That's
nationally.
Right. Yeah.
Tell me about Urban. How's it going with Urban? Tell me about Trevor. How's it going with Trevor? I mean, that's the –
yeah.
And then he asked me a question about Gardner Minshew, if I thought he was a starting quarterback or not in the NFL.
What'd you say?
I said on a team that wants to contend for a championship and for the playoffs, I do not think he's a starter. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. That's my opinion. I said that last year. I think is he a guy that if you are looking for a transition, can he start and win you some football games? Sure. Could he be like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type of player? Sure.
In time, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
immediately.
But
no, but
time.
I don't think he's a. If I'm building a franchise, he's not my starting quarterback.
There you have it.
Like if you're trying to go win a championship, I mean, nothing against him. I love the competitiveness. I love his work hard, grit, all those things. But if you're asking me honestly, I think he's a really good backup if you have a franchise quarterback that can come in and win games when the guy's out until he gets back. If you're transitioning, looking for that in between till you find the guy, okay. If I'm trying to win a championship, am I building my team around Gardner? I'm not. Others might.
Social questions are in the book. Thank you for the submissions today. We'll do it again in a couple weeks when we're back on Mondays. We're back in a moment with our final thoughts and a look around the National Football League. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Titos Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to TitosVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. TitosVodka.com.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat. More cheese. More veggies. More quality. More taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash. Made fresh. Dailies.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUVs of the future for everyone. Like Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer. All named 2021 IIHS top safety picks with specific headlights. One of the many reasons why Ford has the freshest lineup of SUVs in America. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs. Drive one today. When equipped with available LED headlamps based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10520.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Dailies, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat. More cheese. More veggies. More quality. More taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash. Made fresh. Dailies.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday.
You almost said Thursday.
Almost said Thursday, but I didn't. J.P. Shadrick, that's Tony Boselli. No Pete Prisco. He'll be back with us in a couple of weeks. What
Cheers.
a show.
Claps in the background.
There are people buzzing about this show tonight, Tony.
Award-winning, highest ratings ever.
I'm going to tell you, this one is right up there. Almost as good as the one when you were gone in London.
I know your dad prefers when Pete's gone more than me. I know that for a fact. I got inside sources that Mr. Shadrick prefers the Boselli-Shadrick show.
I mean, who doesn't, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point.
if you don't, then there's, maybe there's something wrong with
now, for everyone next week, you're going to have to the good news is we'll be playing the Saints. You can listen to the broadcast on the radio.
Publix Tailgate Show, 4 o'clock.
4
or 5
o'clock.
o'clock. I'm sorry. I keep saying it's an 8 o'clock kick.
8 o'clock here.
3 hours
there,
before is 5 o'clock.
And so
I was told there would be no math tonight.
A lot of pregame stuff will be on it, but unfortunately, there will be no Monday night show next week, and due to contract issues, I will not be here on Tuesday.
You're not coming in to do the backup show? No?
We're not doing a backup
Why
show.
not?
Joe said I didn't have to. Joe said
my
it was.
goodness.
When Joe negotiated my contract, he said, no Tuesdays, only Mondays.
That's it, huh?
Very stern.
He's an agent.
Hard
I didn't
line.
know he was a
hard line.
representative.
I think
That's
the other
something.
reason is because I don't think we have any airtime Tuesday.
We could, create it if we needed to, I think. That's possible.
No, it'll be Monday night, so we'll be back in 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
With the Monday night show.
Oh, of course, now this week, coming up Wednesday, it's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks Wednesday afternoon, 4 o'clock on Jaguars.com.
I'll tell you, one of the best additions we made, it was last year, and he had a role, and his role's expanding, it was Bucky Brooks. Bucky Brooks, if you've ever seen him, former teammate of mine, if you ever saw him, if you ever get a chance to see him on NFL Network, I believe it is.
It is.
I get confused with all the different stations. He is really good. And he does a great job. And the addition of him to our team has been a great one. I know if you watched, if you were unfortunate enough not to hear the radio on Saturday night, which I know that was much listened for everybody to listen to Jeff and I, I'm sure I know him and Brian Sexton did a great job doing the TV broadcast.
Bucky was great.
He is. Well, he's a pro.
He was great.
He's so good. And so what's this Wednesday show? I mean,
it's we used to call it Happy Hour. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks. We made that the podcast in the off season.
Okay.
Called it Huddle Up because it was Wednesday midweek kind of thing, and we put it out in the morning. So it wasn't Happy Hour at 9 a.m. last I checked. Most places.
So is it a morning show still?
No, it's going to be in the afternoon. We're going to call it Huddle Up with Bucky
and what
Brooks.
time's that
it's
going?
Wednesdays 4 o'clock.
4 to
on
5.
Jaguars.com. 4 to 5.
4 to 5.
That's
So.
right.
Bucky, good luck. Try to get to second place because you're never going to get the first place. There's only one first place on this network, and that's the Monday night show.
Without Boselli, because the Prisco one when you were in London is number one.
That's not
this
true.
is a close second, real close.
First of all, let's be clear. The name of this show is Boselli, Shadrick, and sometimes Pete Prisco.
You're at the top of the marquee, huh?
That's right. Come on, J.P. Is there any doubt about that?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But no, but
and then Thursday we have
the coach's show,
Jaguars Happy Hour,
which I'll be
2
joining,
hours of.
And also I'll be joining weeks I'm on the road doing Thursday night football.
Bring
I'll be
you in
listening
some.
in.
That'll be
and
good.
Joining. No, we have a great lineup. The team does great. I'm looking for this is going
Jags drive time in the morning.
Oh, it's great. There's so much, and I'm not self-promoting here. All seriousness, Bucky coming on is great. Jeff obviously always does a great job. J.P. Ashland, you got Brian Sexton, Joe making the whole engine run. So
you left out Osher.
He joined us tonight. I did forget about him. So, anyways, good stuff. And the hope is, and we saw a snippet on Saturday night of this Jaguar team. Some good, some bad, some ugly. Probably I found it was interesting because going into the game and going into camp, there was so much excitement because of Urban and Trevor, and to the point because it happened back in February or end of January. We hired Urban. Woo, excitement! Had the first overall pick. Free agency, okay, not as much excitement as maybe as usual because it wasn't the big splash guy, but good players, Shaquille Griffin and.
They spent a lot of free agency money. They had
a lot of money.
Was a big deal.
But they didn't get everyone wanted Jonnu Smith or Hunter Henry.
Tight ends,
whatever. But anyways, excitement. Then the draft comes.
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence, Etienne, woo, excitement,
Yep.
And it just you have OTAs and all, and there's this fever pitch, and I think people were like, we are we're in the Super Bowl, we are ready. Here we go, domination.
Depending on who you ask.
Yeah,
yes.
and I felt it, which is good. That's what you want as fans. But then you got into the preseason game, and all of a sudden you're playing the Browns backups. It doesn't go so well. I think that's good from this standpoint. Hey, we have work to do. That doesn't mean we're not going to be a good team. That doesn't mean Urban's great. Trevor's great. We got all these great players. But it's the reality check is that we have what's the old saying? Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's what they said. Brick by brick.
Brick by brick. It's a process. You have to lay a foundation. You have to do the hard work. You have to get into the details. You need the reps. You need to get on the same page. And it's going to take a process. It's going to take time. And so everyone just take a deep breath. Don't panic. It's okay. It wasn't great. Some good stuff, some bad stuff, some ugly stuff, but don't panic. It'll be okay. As long as we keep on getting the arrow pointed in the right direction so that this thing hits a crescendo come Houston when we kick it off for real, because that's what matters. All you're trying to do is get the building blocks in place where you can put your best foot forward and have your best performance when you play Houston. And then you know what you do after that? Then you start building again and try to have your best performance whoever we play the next week.
Denver Broncos. How much do you charge an hour for these sessions, Tony?
I should charge. I'm thinking about opening a website. Self-help with
This
Boselli.
is Tony Boselli. I'm listening. I think steal Frazier's line, right? You're helping a lot of people right now, Tony.
But do you disagree?
Yeah, it's the first preseason
Yeah,
game. It's a the whole thing's new. Yeah.
It's all good.
You got a month to the regular season, and then that's when it really meant. Now, like we said earlier, if that happens week 1 in Houston, okay, alarm bells might ring a little bit, but
that's right.
You got a month until all that goes down. A couple of quick NFL notes. Cam Newton or Mac Jones, who's going to start in New England, Tony?
I think Cam starts the opening day. I think by the end of the year, Mac Jones is your starter.
Seahawks made a final offer to fifth-year safety Jamal Adams. Will he play in Seattle, or will he sit?
He'll play. It doesn't make sense to sit if you're an NFL player. Career's too short. earning power.
Andy
leaves.
Dalton, the number 1 quarterback in Chicago. Fields needs more reps. Will he be the starter at some point sooner?
Before the season ends, Fields will be a starter. Dalton will start the season. They have a good football team, good defense there.
There's our look around the NFL.
That's how we roll.
Because we had our session with Tony Boselli to calm everybody down.
Calm everyone down. Take a deep breath.
Pete will be back with us in a couple of weeks. We're off next Monday because of Monday Night Football. The Jags and the Saints coming up. Great show, Tony. Appreciate
Thank you, JP.
Thanks to John Ozier. Thanks to Greg Cosell, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber, Trent Padilla. I'm JP Shadrick, and we will catch you next time. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.